We have a ton of good news about the fourth stimulus check, Social Security benefits, SSI and STI. I'm ready to see what President Biden could do for you folks, and let's see what he could do for the American people. Hopefully he can do what he promised us and he sent out the fourth stimulus check. Now first of all, the weather is heating up and so are gas prices. AAA has reported that the national average for a gallon of gas rose 8 cents last week, and now it's up to $3.66 a gallon. Now, oil prices initially got a boost early in April, which now surprisingly announced that it would cut production starting in May by about $1 million per day. This is news from the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries. This past Thursday, oil rose further after the International Energy Agency predicted global oil demand will climb by 2 million barrels a day. Now, that's to a record of 101 million barrels per day. In the United States, refineries are also outperforming routine by spring maintenance, everybody. And so warm weather usually draws out more drivers and now boosting demand for the gas. Now all these factors have helped push America's West Texas intermediate oil prices to a 4-month high at around $83 per barrel on Friday. Now a spokesperson for USA Today said that when the cost of crude oil crosses the $80 mark, it puts a lot of upward pressure on what we pay at the pump. No one expects average nationwide gas prices to challenge last June's record of $5 a gallon, but analysts have generally expecting prices to continue ticking higher over the next couple months, and now head of petroleum analysis at GasBuddy expects the gas price to start sliding again in June. Even Governor Newsom has signed a bill to create new oversight of the oil and gas industry, which could lead to fines. The law said it will create a civil penalty on refineries who engage in price gouging. Now, Governor Newsom said in a statement, it's time to choose whether to stand with California families or with big oil in our fight to make them pay and play by the rules. The oil industry has been critical, arguing it will make confidential trade information public and result in less investment in California, which results in maybe increasing prices more. But Newsom sent a letter to the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission that immediately focuses on investigating resources on accessing whether market manipulation is happening. As for action being taken at the state level, the governor's office announced that California Energy Commission will hold hearings, bringing together market experts to examine the possible drivers behind the natural gas spikes and explore potential state actions that can be taken. Last year, the president and then other lawmakers are considering sending a federal gas rebate check to Americans, but with prices rising once again, it's the government going to put this through. At the time of the record high gas prices, the president made it clear that he was willing to explore all options and hear all the ideas that would help lower gas prices. Folks, we got a ton of good news about the fourth stimulus check, Social Security benefits, SSI and STI. Let's see if Joe Biden can do what he promised us and send the fourth stimulus check sooner than we expect. So inflation is taking a toll on Americans' wallets, especially in the Bay Area, where gas is over $6 a gallon and everyday grocery items cost more than ever before. Millions of Californians can look forward to some relief next month thanks to the middle class tax refund approved by lawmakers. Eligible Californians will receive $200 to $1,000, everybody, on the tax filing status beginning October. Californians who receive the Golden State stimulus check, also via direct deposit, will be the first to receive the tax refund. The first round of payments are expected to be between October 7th and October 25th for the checks, everybody. Californians who file their taxes online and receive the refund via direct deposit can also expect this latest payment the same way. Those who filed paper return or receive the refund by check or receive the payment via a debit card in the mail. Then the remainder of eligible Californians who did not receive a previous stimulus payment will receive a debit card by January 15th. And these inflation relief payments are part of the $300 billion of state budget approved earlier this year by the California lawmakers. So we can see, everybody, that President Biden and the Democrats are doing all that it takes to send out the stimulus check. So, huge news, $3 billion are being returned to taxpayers. The lawmakers have announced that many people were able to claim a surprise stimulus check in just a few weeks. So this is something exciting. The state officials have actually announced in Massachusetts that people must return just short of $3 billion in surplus tax revenue to taxpayers. The state auditor confirmed that the Baker administration, which is the administration of the governor in Massachusetts, estimates that around $3 billion in excess tax revenue must be returned under this new voter-approved law. Now, it's the second time the law will return the money to Massachusetts residents. Now, earlier this week, the administration and the finance secretary said that they anticipated that the taxpayer should actually be a big chunk and a back-to-back chunk of the surplus in the proportion that they paid it. But they did not offer details about when or how they could expect to get the money. The The state's tax haul blew far beyond expectations for the past 2 years, allowing officials to bulk up the rainy day savings account balance to about $7 billion, and this caused the 1986 voter-approved law. The state's tax haul blew far beyond expectations, everybody, allowing officials to bulk up the rainy day savings account balance to about $7 billion. And now, under this law, everybody, $2 billion will be going to the American people. The governor last month filed a fiscal year closeout budget that sets aside around $3 billion to be returned to taxpayers and leaves the legislature about $1.5 billion to spend. Select residents in Massachusetts are already going to start receiving $500 direct payments from the state. This is part of the state's essential employee premium pay program. This will help out so many people. So many people, folks, will get this money and get the stimulus checks that they need. Now, the latest round of relief payments went out to more than 300,000 residents. In the first year of the crisis, the federal government issued around 3 stimulus checks. 3 stimulus checks helped out so many people, we know that for sure. And the payments are open to Massachusetts also. The Massachusetts residents who worked and filed a return, that is. Eligible single filers who earn no more than $39,000, but that threshold increases for larger household sizes. A family of 4 with income less than $79,000 can receive the full payment. Although the short-term economic pressures that caused the federal stimulus checks have eased, the financial consequences of the crisis are still being felt by millions upon millions of people. One state official has said that, obviously with the inflation rate, this relief is not going to last very long, but it might help with your gas bills and some of the incidentals that are racking up right now.
I recognize the chair of the Full Commerce Committee, Senator Cantwell, for an opening statement.
Thank you, Chair Sinema. Thanks for chairing this important hearing along with your colleague, Ranking Member Cruz, and the important witnesses that we're having today. I also want to thank you. You mentioned the CHIPS and Science Act, and want to thank you for your help and leadership in the final days of our negotiations and getting that done. Today, we're here to hear from a set of witnesses to talk about the current issues of aviation and the fact that an FAA bill is due for reauthorization next year. This is an opportunity to talk about the prospects of that and what needs to be addressed. Today's hearing will specifically examine how Congress can help advance aerospace safety and innovation, and what we need to do for the future, whether that is drones to new air mobility concepts. So I look forward to hearing from all of the witnesses. I'm especially happy to hear from Gregory Davis, President and CEO of Eviation. I want to congratulate Eviation on yesterday's first flight of Alice, the first time an all-electric consumer aircraft built from the ground up took flight. I wish we had time to show the video from it because you can hear a lot of cheers at Moses Lake